So you're building this giant mega truck, and I'm building this. The little Autopia car.
Oh, no way. Disneyland. That was the first car I ever drove. Not this one, but the Autopia cars.
Yeah, I want to get rid of the big rubber pads.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll make some panels that get upholstered and just bolt them into the fiberglass seat.
We're going electric?
And then headlights and taillights. Now I have a couple taillights from Disneyland.
Oh.
When we built I worked in Cars Land for 2.5 years. And if you look at the taillights on the back of the Radiator Springs Racers, the taillights are round and they have a Mickey Mouse in the middle.
No kidding.
And I have 4 of those lenses. I'm going to use 2 of them as taillights in the back.
And we're going electric.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. We'll help you EV that thing and convert
It'll be a lot of fun.
Need some help.
Did you see the chassis on the other side?
I did. I was
The little
quite
yellow...
disappointed in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to help you with that?
Yeah.
How much horsepower do you want?
It doesn't need to go really fast. This is just for my wife and I to go around the neighborhoods.
120 sound good?
I don't want to go 120.
No, 120 horsepower.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I'll help you with it.
Yeah.
We actually, a friend of mine just built one like that for somebody else. And it's an Autopia car.
Oh, very cool.
We got a Nissan Leaf motor in it.
Yeah?
And
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to nail the pedal every time.
No.
But it's there if you need it. It's got Hooters on it. It's pretty wild. I'd love to help you with that.
Yeah?
I mean, that's what we do.
All right.
And
Let's play.
It's a perfect little candidate. Throw me a scan of it. We'll have the chassis built out and everything else.
All right. Cool. I like that.
Awesome. Cool. Hi, my name's Eddie from Revolt Systems. I'm here with Will. Will from Buckwire. Yeah, we're all kind of a big team. We work on a lot of stuff. I've known you for years and years now. Worked on a lot of cool projects. Came up here last time to see Chip, talk about the big 6x6 project that we're doing with the F550 and turbine and jet engines and all that fun stuff. And since we are EV guys, Chip kind of came up to us with Bud and said, check out this Autopia car we have. We're thinking about going electric with it. And
it was just part of the tour while we were walking around the shop, and it was like, that's an Autopia car.
We know what that is.
We know what that is.
Yeah, one of our really good friends, Johnny, built one for a customer, I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. And I'm like, wait a second, this has already been done, and we kind of have a formula already. So started talking to Chip about it, and that's why we're here today, is to talk about that build and what we could do to, I guess, build Chip a car.
Yeah, he already had a plan on electrifying it. We're just going to make it a faster electrified version of it.
We're going to make it burn tires, and it's going to be ridiculous, because at Revolt Systems, we don't do anything small or kind of pedally.
I'm about as small as we get.
Yeah,
everything else is way up there.
Yeah, so we, with the land speed stuff we've done and some of the high-powered vehicles that we put together, this is just right up our alley. And if we could do something tiny that has that much horsepower and that much fun, we're gonna turn that little Autopia car into a death trap very quickly. So my goal with this vehicle is basically like any one of our other projects, is build something that's very special, very unique. We don't do car builds. He does more of them than I do. But the builds that we do take on are, once again, specialists, like land speed racing. We did Tim Allen's vehicle, Simple Greens. They're all very unique vehicles. This one, obviously, being a unique vehicle, we want to kind of overpower it and see how stupid we could get. I remember as a child wanting to drive the Autopia cars, and I was never tall enough. And finally, when I was tall enough, I got inside of it. And that darn throttle pedal was so hard to push that I couldn't get my foot on it, so my mom had to help me. And it was kind of a big letdown. I'm like, I can't really drive it outside the tracks. So this is my redemption for the Autopia and the scars that it left me as a child. We're gonna make this thing have well over 100 horsepower. Can't disclose that number yet. We have a new motor being released this year. Yep. And we're gonna put that in there. This motor is big enough to move a full-size car and do burnouts, so I'm sure it's going to be enough for the Autopia.
You're going to be able to do the donuts you could never do on the rails.
I know. So finally, I get to get outside the track and rip this thing around. And it's great, because most of the clientele that I work with, they're not car designers. They come to us because they want us to do what we do, is design the powertrain and get it all in there and make it look pretty. Now that we're working with, obviously, one of the best, if not the best in the business, it's nice because I don't have to take that route with Chip. He can.
It's nice to kind of subcontract.
Yeah, it's like
right.
we'll just have Chip design that part out, and I'll lay the jewelry out for him, and how he wants to put that jewelry together is, I think that'd be a really good matchup for us this time. That I don't have to take. There's a lot of creative stuff that we're gonna have to do, but with our side of things and how to package it. But with Chip being who he is, it's gonna be so much easier to do this. So I'm really looking forward to that part. Well, we got another build with Chip with this Autopia car. So we're gonna go get some concepts together and talk about what he needs. So we'll get it done. So real quick, we wanted to make sure that this was gonna work with our components because there's no reason for us to do this if we're not gonna use our stuff.
Right.
And lo and behold, it actually fit.
Cool.
So basically what we have is, I tried a couple different configurations. At first I had the motor up front. We had a drive line running down the middle of it. And then my friend that already built one of these for another customer, he goes, there's not a chance in hell you're getting a drive line and a motor up there because he had all the steering linkage. And he goes, these things are much smaller than you think they are. Because I just remember them as a kid.
Yeah.
So there's no way we could use the front of the car for any batteries. I mean, maybe we could put some chargers and some.
Right.
Yeah, that's where that kind of stuff is going to go.
Yeah, but the bulk of everything's just sitting underneath it. So what I did is I kind of modeled this together really quickly with what we have as our products, right? So this is our new motor that we're launching during SEMA. This is the same one that's going in the 6x6.
Yep.
The 6x6 is getting 5 of them.
Wow.
3 for the drivetrain and 2 for the actual generator.
That's a big motor.
Yeah, so it puts out power.
Holy smokes.
With you,
We'll try to get more, don't worry.
I don't need this.
But-
This is for my wife to drive up and down the street.
The neat part is with the swipe of your cell phone, you could detune it to whatever you want.
Cool.
You can make it 5 horsepower.
All right.
You can make it 200. So when we go down to a MagnaFlow and we put it on the dyno, we'll burn the tires off.
Nice.
If you want to go show off and do donuts with it, cool. But what I'm thinking, because of the stoutness of this, and you tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm fine with it, is I was actually looking at using a solid quad rear end axle out of like an ATV.
That's fine.
You don't have the diff though.
What?
No
What's
differential.
That's
You're locked,
okay.
which is fine. Personally, I prefer that because you're not going to be one tire and firing this thing. Plus, when you want to go have fun with it, it's let loose.
Yeah.
And if we do a quad rear end,
Now, if you let off, is it still smooth, or is
yeah.
it gonna? Okay.
no, it's just like anything else. And we
know-
can put as much regenerative braking in it as you'd like. So when your foot comes off the throttle, it'll actually slow itself down.
That's what I was asking.
We could program that any way you want. And it could be very smooth or it could be very aggressive.
Or it can be the way it toggles, the toggle button, turn off regen. That way there is no like hard stop.
Yeah.
To take it from.
That's literally a 5-minute
Okay.
software thing.
Cool.
Our motors are transverse, so we're not turning it on, do a kind of, well, not a transaxle, but we have an output share. It's a little,
And what are you running it?
so that's just a regular 1350. So what we're gonna have to do is we have to get a machined part because I
Right.
want to do a jack shaft into a chain.
Okay.
So we use a very big heavy duty chain off of like a Hayabusa or something big.
Yep.
Keep it simple, keep it serviceable.
Yeah, I
Also,
would put a plate back there then, so if that chain ever broke, it doesn't come through the
I'm
seat.
sawing you in half. No, we don't want that. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do some sort of guard.
Or some, yeah.
But what I'm looking at too is if we use like the quad rear end like an ATV, you're not gonna get any body roll because those
Right.
don't have independent rears. It's one solid axle.
Oh, there's no suspension?
there is suspension.
Okay.
But it travels one way.
Yeah.
There's no articulation.
Okay.
So the whole thing just moves straight up and down, just like a quad.
All right, so it's a pivot.
It's a pivot.
Yep. Okay.
Which I think for this car is good because you're not gonna be off-roading.
No. Well, that
plus-
way the chain stays in alignment.
Everything stays in alignment.
Unless you put the motor on that articulating
Yeah,
piece.
we're gonna have to do something. The pivot score point's gonna be have to be here, and we're gonna have to pivot it forwards. But I'm still playing with ideas. It's gonna be interesting to say the least.
Or like I say, if we make that motor a part of that, then we can make that a 4-bar with.
Correct.
Yeah.
This whole thing could be on the floating rear end,
Yeah.
like a De Leon.
Yeah, my main concern is size of wheels and stance. Yeah,
So I
I
just-
want this thing about 3 inches off the ground
Okay.
in the front. Like if you were to measure the rocker, 3 inches here and 4 inches there.
So you want the front end
On
lower.
on the ground. Yeah, about probably
So 60 style, cool stuff.
Yeah, maybe 3 and 3.5. So the wheels are tough.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
3 and 3.5.
So we got the scan of it. This is kind of nice to see it in person. What I wanted to kind of take a look at is where the mounting points are, where some of these cavities are that we're going to be able to run some of these cables, hoses, and things like the charge inlet, where all that can land.
And also the structure of this vehicle, like where did they support it?
Yeah.
And it, it's been sitting here for long enough too. Is like what shape is it in? What has to be done? And it's nice to like, you see a scan on a computer, you don't really have a true scale of size until you're actually standing here and touching it. I mean, last time I saw one of these cars, I was
My size.
yes, I was smaller. But yeah, now we're like, okay, how much legroom do we have? There's no dash. Okay, so it's kind of like a blank slate, and everything back here too, with it being wide open. So we do have. I didn't know it actually had a trunk because the scan doesn't show that. So now it's okay. We could design things now that we could get in from the top versus having to get to the bottom for maintenance or anything like that. So it's gonna be very, very tight fit. But it's doable. I know that, and we're gonna make this